Bets Daily. My guy, Jake Schwanitz. Jake, how are you doing, my friend?
I'm doing well, Dre. How you doing?
Doing pretty good. Great call on the over in the Nugs game. Great call. Irrelevant that the Nugs get blown out. The over hits. Easy peasy. Great call on Justin Fields' rushing yards.
And then what's the other one, Dre?
And then it turns out Mac Jones completions, not what we thought it would be, huh?
Didn't even stand a chance. How many? I don't even remember how many passes.
Yeah, would he have got over 3?
He had 6 attempts. He had
Ouchie.
3 completions.
That's a big ouchie. And then Bailey Zappi comes out, roasts them right away. First thing I thought after that touchdown was, oh, I have to jump in on the Pats live.
Oh, my God. Did you do it?
I didn't, thank God. The Bears creamed them from there on.
Yeah.
What was that?
I know. Insane.
Did not see that coming.
I mean, completely different than how I thought the game would play out in general.
Yeah.
I thought that Belichick and the Patriots defense were going to mix a lot of coverages up and really try to confuse Justin Fields. But the Bears, credit to them, they had a great game plan, and Fields delivered really on both ends, and he's kind of finally on that trajectory that we thought he'd be on.
Yeah, he looked good. I wanted to categorize him in... Like last year, we had a few really bad teams in the NFL. Lions, Jaguars really stood out. And it just felt like we had a lot of huge spreads. This year, the parity's been amazing.
Yeah.
But there are some of those teams are starting to rise up as, oh, maybe you're one of the really crappy teams. Like when DeAndre Swift, Amon-Ra St. Brown, and Jamison Williams isn't back from injury, the Lions might just be one of those teams right now.
Yeah.
And the Bears, I thought, were one of those teams. If Fields plays that way and the defense is solid enough, they're not. They're another of these frisky teams that 8.5 you got to be weary of.
Oh yeah, it was just with how they play football, that running game too. Khalil Herbert, I mean, I was a huge fan of him coming out. It's nice to see him coming on. Even Montgomery, I mean, I wasn't a big Montgomery guy, but he's kind of been doing his thing.
He gets downhill. Their play calling's not half bad. They just need more talent at wide receiver.
Well, I mean, that was my biggest criticism of them coming into the season was you're looking at Mooney's fine, but looking at the depth chart it's brutal, man. And
I'm passing on guys like George Pickens who are already popping. Is
Alec Pierce
is gonna hurt. Yep, Alec Pierce, absolutely. But that was an interesting one. And Ramondre Stevenson gets almost 100 total passing rushing yards. Great save.
Thank you.
And yet falls short on my rushing prop.
Yeah, that was interesting how he was used. 8 receptions for 59 yards.
Yeah, I didn't see that one coming.
Only 11 for 39 on the ground. Really not a good day rushing
they were
the ball
down
or
so
anything.
big. Yeah, they weren't going to rush the ball at all. But yeah, it's been an interesting year in the NFL, man. It's been an interesting year, and be weary of these big spreads. Because unless it's the Bills, maybe the Chiefs, all these teams are proving they're not worthy of it. Like that Bucks huge spread against the Panthers. It was the one consensus pick we had was take the Panthers plus 13 on the tailgate Sunday morning, and that hit easy peasy outright.
Well, back to your point about the teams that are bad. I mean, last year I made money on the Lions and Texans. They covered all the time, and they were, like you said, getting a lot of those disrespectful, frankly, double-digit spreads, and they just weren't as bad. I mean, they were bad football teams, but they weren't
as bad as they're perceived to be bad. Yes. And that's where the NFL is so different from college football.
100%.
Like massive difference. Okay, cool. Well, it's my favorite show of the week. Yep. We get to guess the lines. I haven't done many of these without Rhino, but these periods of time will come up. And I'm excited to do this one with you, man.
I even held off listening to my favorite podcast, the Bill Simmons podcast.
You gotta stay away. That's what I shut down all NFL media consumption Monday and Tuesday because I can't have the line spoiled to me. And yet I'm just hanging out in the lounge yesterday, talking about our upcoming fantasy pod with Kale. And he reads a tweet telling me what the Broncos line is in London. Kale, I don't want to know that. Some people just don't respect that. Tuesdays Guess the Lines Day. Respect Guess the Lines Day, people.
100%. Andre is like super into Guess the Lines. By the way, people, if you guys haven't noticed, like Dre lives for this day more than anybody else I know.
I love it. The notes have turned into be really insightful. It's a phenomenal exercise to see where you stand and kind of mine public perception. It's all about mining perception.
100%. It's just a great exercise to really see where you kind of fall already in terms of the sides that you think can be taken advantage of.
Gotta put in that work. Oh yeah, I forgot my Kraken hat. We can't do what's in my crack. Damn it. Oh, I can't believe I did that to our people. Shoot. Okay, let's start off with this slate, and then we'll come up with something. I'll have something on Avs and Kraken tonight. We start with Thursday night. Ravens at the lowly Buccaneers. Tough one because the Bucs on defense are really good, but they are not figuring things out offensively. The Ravens, oddly, are kind of the opposite. Their secondary's garbage. They've got some talent on the line. It's kind of the Lamar show on offense, and we're still not seeing enough from that offense outside of Lamar to make us feel good. How do you see this one, Jake?
I mean, Tampa offensively, though, has really been falling flat. At Tampa, Thursday night, I'm going to say the Bucs are favored by 2.5.
Wow. See, this is where I thought and maybe I'm overreacting to this last game, but I think the Bucs are such garbage. I went Ravens -4. Ravens are my long shot to win it all, so I am maybe extremely high on the Ravens. Interested to see where this one goes. Yaya, what's the line? We got a big gap to close here. 6 points.
It's Ravens -1.5.
All right. On the hook gives it to me, right?
Yeah, that's close.
Holy shit.
Wow.
That was right in the middle.
I get this.
Do you love the Bucs now?
No, okay. So I like the Ravens more, and I mean personally, if I was setting the line, I think right around there, -1 for the Ravens is where it should be. I just think that I thought that Vegas would have more respect for Brady and that defense, especially at home on a Thursday night.
Straight up loss to the Panthers without Christian McCaffrey will do that to you.
That's true, but I mean, this is Tampa Bay. Like,
I know.
Division. They lost a division game. It happens to everyone. I mean, the Broncos, when they won the Super Bowl in 2015, lost to the Raiders at home. It happens.
This is perception. Are people overreacting on the Bucs?
Maybe. It's such a week-to-week league, and especially with how long the season is now, I hate burying a team in October.
For sure. And also, I mean, I don't know. Some of these veteran QB'd offenses got to figure it out.
Well, and that's the concerning part of Tampa. I mean, it seems like the fans are really angry at Byron Leftwich and his play calling. Brady obviously a lot is going on with him.
But he's actually throwing for more passing yards the last 4 weeks. Like, I don't know that he's the problem necessarily.
Fournette hasn't had a big week in a while, too.
Yeah, it's true. So we might like the Bucs. That's going to be the note. We're not ready to commit to anything. All right, let's go to the next one in London. I already heard the spread, so this one doesn't even count.
Remember, if Jake can guess it exactly, he can get the point, but he has to guess it exactly.
Okay.
Jags -1.5.
It's 4.5.
4?
I believe, yeah.
It's actually 2.5.
2.5.
Wow. Okay, so that's changed a bit.
Interesting.
You got to see who's the quarterback first.
Does Jacksonville get a home field bump with this game?
I don't know. I really don't know what to expect from this crowd. I think actually Broncos will show up pretty good.
Broncos country, you have to show up.
I think they will. Until you get confirmation it's Russell Wilson, you got to kind of stay away.
Yep, 100%.
Okay, now we begin with the morning slate, the real morning slate. Miami at Detroit. One franchise really turned things around in the last 3 years. Another one, not so much. And those injuries at the skill positions for the Lions really kind of adding up.
Pretty brutal. Lions were 7-point underdogs last week they played Dallas?
Yeah.
Miami was -7 also.
Covered nicely.
Let me get... Miami didn't cover if it was -7. 16-10.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yep. The end of that game was a little tricky. Yes.
I'm gonna put this in the BS Vegas zone. I'm gonna say Miami -4.5.
Miami -4.5. I went heavy. I think the book loves Miami. I love Miami. I went Miami -8. I think the Lions are garbage right now.
It is Miami -3.
Wow.
We love the Dolphins this week then.
We love the Dolphins big.
Swift might be coming back for the Lions though.
Yeah, that could make a difference. What do you think of this theory that I think Ryan threw this out there, that once the Lions offense became kind of frisky, I think it's kind of been figured out that, or more figured out, teams reminded themselves that the game plan with Goff at the Rams was just bring the house, and he's going to panic, and he's not the same guy.
Well, I mean, I think the smart response to that is Swift should help with that, though. Maybe you get him out in the perimeter, get some screens going. I mean, that's really where he's at his most explosive, I think.
Fair. Okay, so 1-1. Let's keep it rolling, Yaya. Did we skip Carolina at Atlanta?
No, I will I did something crazy, but it's still in here. Don't worry. We'll get to it. You're not wrong.
No worries. Arizona at Minnesota. The 5-1 Vikings coming off a bye. I will say it right now, I'm not a believer.
No, not at all. That Cardinals game last Thursday night, I think, was a bit of smoke and mirrors. You had the Andy Dalton interception and a lot of short fields for that offense.
Yeah.
In that game, Arizona was favored by 2.5. I think Vikings get a lot of home field respect here. I'm going to say Vikings favored by 6.5.
I went 6. Let's see if you get me on the hook.
It is Vikings -4.
Wow.
So I get you thanks to that hook.
DeAndre Hopkins is worth that much, you think?
Interesting. I mean, I think what the book is telling us is that they too don't believe in the Vikings.
I kind of believe in the Vikings.
But I believe
personally.
in the Cardinals even less.
Right.
You don't believe in the Cardinals.
Not at all.
Which definitely. I don't believe in the Vikings that much.
I like the Vikings. I actually placed a Super Bowl bet on them after week 1.
Did you?
It was like plus 5,000. They're down to plus 2,000 now.
The skill players on offense are very intriguing. Outside of that,
defense leaves some more to be desired for sure. I mean, losing Zimmer, that's probably the only area of the team that is hurt from that move. But
right.
I think overall this team has a better offensive scheme than they've had in previous years. And I don't know. I just think we haven't seen Thielen really blow up yet. I think that Kirk Cousins is due for a big passing game himself. I like the Vikings on that line quite a bit, actually.
Okay.
At home,
Okay.
Kirk plays well at home.
He does. It's just a Sunday morning chill game. It's great for the LL Being King, you know.
Mm-hmm.
All right, yeah. Keep us rolling here. There it is. Panthers at the Falcons. PJ Walker against Marcus Mariota.
Oh my gosh!
Elite matchup for the AFC South.
The Falcons hurt me quite a bit last week.
Yeah.
They were minus 6.5
to start the game.
Shoot, man. I guess Falcons minus 1.5.
Okay, I said minus 6.5.
Oh, no way.
I think the Panthers' love has to die down. That was a fluke. I think the book's aware that we all love the Falcons because they're the book kings right now. We are really on different mindsets here in these lines.
The Falcons throw like 15 passes a game.
They are so run heavy. It's crazy.
I mean, that's
crazy.
That's what Carolina just like shut down from the Tampa game.
Fair enough. Fair enough. So what'd you say?
I said 1.5.
1.5. I've got 6.5. Yeah.
It's Falcons minus 4.5.
Okay.
I don't like. That's too much respect for the Falcons. Maybe I'm just bitter. They hurt me too much on Sunday.
Too much respect for the Falcons. All right. Okay. I mean,
that game's a stay away. Don't touch that game.
yeah, it's true. I mean, you just can't set the line one way or another.
Yes, I mean I don't. Even if the line was, what'd you guess, 6.5?
6.5.
Do you feel comfortable with that? I don't even know if 1.5, and what I said was comfortable.
Yeah, I feel comfortable. They're at home. I think the Falcons are the better team.
They are the better team, but I think that the defense of Carolina, I mean, you actually forced them to throw the ball. You forced Mariota to throw the ball.
That defense is frisky, and with PJ Walker, Dante Foreman's running tough. Like, that Carolina offense isn't terrible. What they did to the Bucs defense should be notable.
It's also the over-under is at 42.
It feels kind of high for that one. But I don't know. Let's stay away. I'm not touching anything to do with that game.
Okay. I like that. There you go. Bears at Cowboys. Bears after last night's promising performance. Cowboys, one of the surprises of the season. Two great defenses. Dak's back. Everything seems to be performing nicely for him. What you got?
I don't know if the book is going to have great respect for Chicago after that game. I mean, you do go into New England and get the victory. That's huge in and of itself. But this is a defense, I think, that can really give Chicago troubles. I'm going to say Dallas minus 6.5.
I went Dallas minus 8. I think that's just like a heavy public team. It's easy to fade the Bears. If it is minus 8, I love the Bears, frankly.
It is not minus 8, but it is minus 9.
Wow.
Whoa. I think this is a classic. We hate it, but we love the Bears.
Can they bounce back and do it again, though? That defense, though, man.
So that is going to be the crux of this, is if the Bears can hang, this could definitely be a close game. If the Bears were to fall down double digits early and then Fields is forced to drop back and pass to get them back into it, and that pass rush can just pin their ears back and get after them, that's a recipe for disaster.
I think this is a big game for Micah Parsons, I think. I think that he's going to be able to get a couple sacks on Fields. He's going to be in the backfield. He's going to have to be in the backfield if this run game is at all neutralized. Offensively, though, Dallas, how do you feel about them offensively?
Pretty vanilla. Yeah, they're pretty meat and potatoes. There's no one that I'm going into. If I'm a DC game planning for the Cowboys, there's no one going into that week, which I'm like, we have to stop Tony Pollard. We have to stop Ezekiel Elliott. We can't let Dalton Schultz get single coverage. Even CeeDee Lamb. It's like we can survive any of these.
Michael Gallup came back last week. I don't even know if he had a target.
Yeah, tough. I mean, they've been very meat and potatoes, and it's working for them.
It's very 2016 Cowboys-esque.
Yeah, it is. Keep it rolling, yeah. This one I knew the least what to do with. Especially because the book seems to like the Raiders.
The Dennis Allen Bowl.
It is the Dennis Allen Bowl. Love that. It's in New Orleans, and the Saints are frisky in New Orleans. The Saints are kind of frisky. There's plenty of talent on that team to like. I just don't trust it altogether right now.
Do we know who's playing quarterback for the Saints? Is it Jameis back?
I don't know. Jameis was rumored to be ready to go and back last week. Then they just stuck with Andy Dalton on the short week.
That was weird. We barely saw much.
I know, but then they got bodied, so maybe you do go Jameis.
Either way, man, I would say let's go Saints minus 4.5.
The book loves the Raiders. I went Raiders minus 3.5 on the road.
No way. Yes. Come on.
Tell us, Yahya.
It's Raiders minus 2.
The book loves them. The book loves them.
Why?
The book is still convinced the Raiders are the team we thought they would be going into the season. That it just 0-3 was kind of a fluke, that it took them a little to figure things out. And they're kind of figuring things out.
They're just not good, though. Like, defensively the only thing they have going is Josh Jacobs right now.
Who's been unbelievable. Devontae Adams figuring some things out.
That was an adjustment period for him.
Matt Collins has been a nice wide receiver. Offensively, I like him.
They're all right. I'm still not very excited about Derek Carr these days.
Yeah,
I guess the dome too.
On paper, when you break it down, I suppose I do like the Saints a bit better, but don't I trust the Raiders more because ultimately I trust Derek Carr more than anyone the Saints can throw out.
I did just bring up the dome. I'm remembering a game, I think, from 2017 when the Raiders went in and won on a 2-point conversion to Michael Crabtree. So they have won in that tough environment before. I guess, man. I don't know about the Raiders. I don't know about the Saints either. I'd just take the Saints, I think, in that matchup.
I'm writing it down. Jake loves the Saints.
Loves is strong.
Well, in this matchup.
Yes.
He'd take her on a first date.
Plus 2.5.
That's for sure, Jake.
I would ask her out, sure.
Yeah, there you go. Keep it coming. Do we have a little Pennsylvania derby here? Look at that. Pittsburgh at Philly. I think the Steelers get some respect, but it can't be much with how the Eagles are looking.
I'm going to say Eagles minus 10.
Yeah, I mean, with that Cowboys line being -9, I can see why you would go that direction. I think the Steelers get a little respect. I went -8 for the Eagles. I wouldn't be surprised if it's lower, but it has to be over a touchdown.
A week or two ago, this line's near 14, if not over 14.
Yes. But Steelers figuring some things out.
They are.
They're not a compete dumpster fire.
Kenny Pickett can do some things.
He can, and then when he runs and gets tackled in the NFL, I think he's going to actually die every single time.
Yeah, he's been through a lot of injuries too, but yeah, George Pickens, that's been an awesome emergence.
He's looking great. All right, yeah, -8, -10. Which one is it?
It's -10.5.
For
the Eagles.
Okay, I've been real quick on the Eagles. I've been telling myself to do this every week they play, and I never do it. Why aren't we just betting Eagles, whatever the spread is for the first half and first quarter? Because they are the hottest team in the league in that first half every week. I can't tell you how many games I've seen this year where they're up 20-0, and then the game ends and it's 24-10 or something.
You got to give them the Bama treatment.
Yep, exactly.
Okay. I like that. We got to make a note of that. Yeah, are we halfway? Look at that. As always, DraftKings Sportsbook, the presenting sponsor of this here podcast. They are the kings of sportsbooks. They allowed Jake and I to parlay 2 boosted SGPs together last night, Monday Night Football Nuggets game. It was absolutely beautiful. Right now, new users, to commemorate the opening week of the NBA, new users can bet $5 on any NBA money line and win $200 in free bets. That's on top of all the boosts, all the other great promotions. The app, it's kind of overwhelming how much they offer. They're the true homies, man. So download that DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use that promo code DNVR. Make any $5 bet this week and get $200 in free bets if your team wins, only at DraftKings Sportsbook with promo code DNVR. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. See show notes for details. All right, Jake, you got to kind of pick it up in this second half here.
I do. We got to rally.
Yeah, you got to rally. This is a comeback game. Guessing the line's always a comeback game. I think there's something to being able to adjust off the mistakes you've made.
We got to find out if Andre can win while having the lead. He's always behind, and he comes back to win, so this is also a test for Trey.
That's a great point. And my lines are preset, so I can't adjust. I'm kind of stuck, which is can feel a little like quicksand sometimes. Yeah. I believe we have a great matchup in the AFC East here.
Wow.
It's the the Bill Parcells Bowl here. Little Pats, Jets. I don't know how you feel about the Jets. I'm at a point where I would be very torn in not starting Flacco soon. They're doing nothing with Zach Wilson.
Zach Wilson has not been great. And now Breece Hall is out, too. That's going to be a huge one.
Added James Robinson.
That's massive,
Crazy.
I think.
Crazy. But their wide receivers were really thriving. Tyler Conklin, Garrett Wilson, all those guys with Flacco, and they're not even passing for over 100 yards. It's weird, man. Salah's defense really hanging in there.
Yeah, Zach Wilson, 16 of 26, 121 last week. I mean, it was the Broncos' defense.
Sure.
So the Jets were 2-point favorites on the road in Denver last week. Let me take the Jets again. I'm only going to go, let's say -3.5.
I think the Jets are getting too much respect at -4.5. And I mean, Salah v. Belichick, that feels like a coaching mismatch in favor of the Patriots.
Oh, just you saying that, I love the under.
So who did he take?
He said Jets
3.5.
What did you have? You had
4.5.
I had 3.5.
Jake takes it. It's Patriots -1.5.
Wow.
For once, we're both on the same side. So the book is telling you empty the account on the Patriots.
Big Bailey Zappi guys, the book is then, huh?
I guess so.
Wow.
Or they're not believers in the Jets. They're saying the Jets are fugazi. Don't.
I could see a bit of a letdown from the Jets, just with obviously Breece Hall, we already talked about, is out and Robinson's in. But we saw last week with McCaffrey when he joined the Niners. I mean, he wasn't fully integrated into that offense yet. I don't know if James Robinson will be off the bat either. So I guess that's one kind of way that you can get to Patriots -1. I can't get all the way there because of that. But
I mean, to think the Patriots are outright winners on the road to the Jets.
They do it. They've done it how many times?
Of course. Gajillion times. Man, that's a ballsy line.
What's the under on that one, though?
That one is 40.5.
40
that's pretty
and
low.
a half. Yeah, that's low. That's low, and if you believe the book is right, and maybe it's a bit of a Pats blowout even, they've kind of been an over team the last few weeks.
Pats bounce back maybe after getting embarrassed on Monday Night Football?
In the NFL, always assume a bounce back.
That has to be the
always
angle.
assume a bounce back.
I like the Pats on that side, though.
Okay, sure enough. First line of the second half, and he's closing the gap already. What a helmet matchup here. Gross on both sides. Houston Oilers forever. Titans at Texans. Can't believe that's the Texans' record. 1-4-1. I don't know much what to make of either of these teams. Probably more so the Titans than the Texans.
Yeah, agreed.
We're just like a frisky bad team.
Yep.
So that makes sense.
Man, the Titans really screwed themselves by trading A.J. Brown. If they had him, I think
Yep. They're not getting returns from Treylon Burks. You would have hoped.
No, he's on IR, isn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Wasn't a fan of him anyways in the draft. I'm going to go, let's say Titans. I feel like the Texans are going to get disrespected after last week. I'm going to say Titans -7.5.
Okay, on the road. Shit, you probably got me good on this one. I figured Titans just -4 because you can't trust the Titans. But after what they did to the Colts, people probably trust the Titans. Damn it all. 5-4. Here it comes.
Titans -2.
Wow. I was gonna say if it's anything above like 4, I love the Texans, but
I get that. Book telling you the Texans kind of frisky.
They have been frisky. They're always kind of disrespected in terms of the lines, as I was talking about earlier, and made a lot of money on them last year. They haven't quite lived up to that billing this year, though.
Yeah, not as much Davis Mills love as we were hearing.
Yep. Interesting, though.
Yeah, really interesting. Okay, I needed that one. But you can still win this. So
all right.
Have no fear. 6-1 G-men against the 4-3 Seahawks. Both have to be like two of the surprises of this early season. Very different teams. kind of becoming a believer, lukewarm believer in both these quarterbacks, though, which is saying a lot with my history with Daniel Jones. In Seattle, 12th man. How much does that play a factor?
Huge test for New York in this one.
Yeah.
They've been disrespected too. How many times have they been favored this year? It's got to be less than 3 times, 3 or less times.
That's a great question.
They were dogs last week. I'm going to say...
They were. That was crazy. I mean, I jumped on the Jags because I thought the book knew something. And the Jags were right there. I think the score's deceiving, but they pulled it off.
I'm going to say Giants -1.5.
Giants -1.5. I went -2. So we're going to be right there.
Yep.
Would you guys believe me when I said you guys are both on the wrong side?
Wow. I probably would.
Seahawks -3.
Wow. I get that one, right?
Dang. So the book is saying
What did you guess?
1.5.
1.5.
Yeah.
I was at 2. Yeah.
Wow.
The book is saying unleash on the Hawks.
Dude, okay. The Giants got to get some respect at some point. I understand it's Daniel Jones. I understand it's a rookie head coach, but 6-1 is kind of hard to fluke, and they've been tough. They came back against the Ravens a couple weeks ago. That was a tough win. I mean, this might be the toughest test just going into what do they call it? Lumen Field now or whatever.
Yeah.
But no DK Metcalf?
No DK Metcalf. Man, the Giants have no one at wide receiver, but that defense is playing real tough. I mean, I like that backfield. I think Daniel Jones and Saquon are playing well.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're getting good play calling.
God, if he could do anything, that offense would be really fun. Really, really fun.
Man, the Seahawks, though, were kind of electric last week. Like, they took care of business in the blink of an eye. I mean, they schooled the Chargers, man.
But, I mean, they're the Chargers. We knew that.
I get it. Ugh. I might be with the book and love the Seahawks, even though it makes me uncomfortable, but we bet uncomfortably now, Jake.
I might be taking Giants money line for the 3rd week in a row now.
Fair enough. 6-4. He can still do it. We've got 4 games left. Commandos. What's Ryan always call that logo, Yaya? The Waste Management logo? It's the Waste Management team against the Colts. God, the Colts are horrible. And they have Sam Ehlinger starting at quarterback. So I think it should have been the Carson Wentz Bowl. Instead, It's going to be Heineke versus Sam Ehlinger. Yikes. This is real sicko bowl material.
I am so hyped for this game. I am like so excited to see Heineke versus
That's a true DNVR betsman right there. If you love this matchup, you know what you're doing. What do you do with this? Is a throw your hands up game of the week, man.
I'm going to do the same then. I'm going to call it a pick 'em because I can't pick a side here.
Samesies. I too went with a pick 'em.
Did you really?
I did.
Let's go.
Yep. So yeah, we're gonna tie it. What is that line?
It is -3 for the Colts, the home 3.
I would have leaned Washington. Interesting.
I hate Ehlinger.
Yeah.
I think Heineke actually can cover a spread and look decent. Ehlinger, I think, is garbage.
Yeah.
Everything about the Colts has really, they seem like a promising team, and now it's like, oh, yeah. Their best players are often injured, like off-ball linebacker and a left guard.
They're kind of like the
that
Broncos.
Won't go far for you.
Where they're
they are
stuck in the
Broncos
same, they keep on trying to go through with this same philosophy they've been doing the last 4 or 5 years, and it's just not working. That surprises me though. I would have picked if I had to pick a side, I would have picked Washington to be favored.
Totally, and their home field in Washington isn't really home field, so they feel like one of those teams who isn't really going to be perturbed by playing on the road.
Right.
Yeah. What were you saying, sir?
Over under will be 40.
That might be a stay away completely again for me.
That might be a great under.
Think so?
Yeah. It's Heineke versus Sam Ehlinger, dude.
Ehlinger,
let that sink in.
I know, but Ehlinger can at least get the ball like down the field. It might not be accurate, but he can throw 15 yards plus down the field. You can hit
as opposed to also, I can't believe we haven't said this yet. Oh, geez, I'm moving the chair. Yeah, what a savage. Matt Ryan has to be investigated by the FBI after those 2 interceptions. Like, that's the most fixed game I've ever watched in my life. Like, those interceptions were pathetic.
It was bad.
Pathetic.
He's been awful.
He's been horrible.
Also, my thing is, I think these quarterbacks are so bad that there's going to be like 2 pick sixes that's going to make this an over.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
that could be. I mean, that could be. If we're just telegraphing shit to the opposing defense, that might be coming.
That's what I think. Both of those quarterbacks have shown a willingness to cut it loose and just throw it deep, whether it gets there or not.
Yeah, they're not conservative passers. You got that right. Oh, interesting, man. Okay, you still got a chance here, Jake.
This is a good game.
It is. NFC West, Niners at Rams. McVay, Shanny, 3-4 versus 3-3. Niners coming off that loss to the Chiefs as faves, which another one that got me. And were the Rams on bye last week? I believe the Rams were on bye last week. I don't think they played. Yeah.
The book really gave respect to San Francisco last week in that line.
Did they ever?
I still think that they respect him this week, and Kyle Shanahan's won, 6 or 7 straight against McVay?
It's a great stat.
I'm going to go Niners -3.
I said Niners -1. It feels like that's the side. At least the book will like more, and SoFi's not like a home field that
right.
scares you for sure.
It is Niners -1.5.
You said 3?
Yep.
Okay. I get that one. I don't know how to feel about this line either way.
The Niners are winning this football game. They're the better team. Stafford, I haven't been huge on coming into the year. Haven't been huge on all year.
Stafford stinks.
The star power in LA is not what it was last year. They're just not as good of a team.
Cooper Kupp can still go off, though, and Aaron Donald can still wreck backfields.
They can, but I mean, I go back to the history of this matchup. I think Shanahan, for whatever reason, has it figured out against McVay, and we're going to see a lot more of CMC in terms of just
fair enough,
all-around use. And I just can't wait till where we see him lining up wide. Like, there's going to be a play where he's lined up wide, Debo's in the backfield or something.
100%.
Like, it's going to be fun.
And the over-under for that game is 43.5.
Interesting.
Set low. That looks like an over to me.
I feel like those games always kind of end up like
that.
Book
really adjust into all these unders now.
Yeah.
Yes. But I think this might be a little bit of an overcorrection. I mean, these teams kind of score. They do have these games where it's like 16-10, I think.
Right. But then you could have that one quarter where it's like 14-17 and then boom.
Exactly.
The over hits easy.
No, there's too much firepower.
Okay. I like that. Sunday night, Green Bay at Buffalo. Yikes.
Oh, wow.
Real yikes. I mean, this could be disastrous for the Packers. And it could also be the one where they rally and they turn their season around. Yeah.
I think that Aaron Rodgers is still going to get a bit of respect. They were -4 last week, lost outright, of course.
Yeah, Commanders.
But this is the Bills at home.
Yeah.
I'm going to go Bills -9.5.
Oof. I thought I went heavy. You went even heavier. I went 8.5. But I mean, Bills, like anything under double digits, you're heavily.
Green Bay offensively has issues.
They're a disaster. They are horrible.
Bad.
Yeah.
Even though Jake won, neither of you went heavy enough. It's -11 for the Bills.
Wow.
I thought about going to that 13 range, but I thought Aaron Rodgers was going to get a little bit more respect than that.
Oh, do I like the Packs? I kind of think the Bills just blow their doors off. They're like the big cover kings.
Yep. I can't bet against the Bills right now. I can't.
Okay. Bills all the way. And we close this out with another interstate rivalry, a little Ohio derby here. Bengals at Browns.
Have they played yet?
I think this is the first matchup of the season.
I'm checking right now. Yep, first matchup of the season. Yep.
Bengals really figuring some shit out now.
They are.
Browns.
Cleveland's been tough with Nick Chubb, though. I mean, they kind of... Brissett isn't doing much, but it's enough to hang around these games and keep them within the number. I'm going to say...
Yeah, they at least get open. They can throw it downfield and stuff.
I'm going to go Bengals -5.5.
I said -4. A little respect for Stefanski, but yeah, I mean.
Might be closer to a touchdown now that I think about it.
Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me. But it is in Cleveland. And the bounce back for the Browns always scares you.
It's Bengals -3.
Interesting.
Dre did.
I believe I did.
Bengals not getting as much respect after that?
Yeah.
I mean, it is the Falcons, I guess, but the Bengals were
But they
highly
were
respected
undefeated
before
against the spread going in. They
True.
handled that.
True. I mean,
I think they're really like poised for a huge second half, that Bengals offense.
Well, I think we talked about this on Sunday. Jamar Chase last year kind of had a slow start, and it was really around this time when he started picking up, and he's picking up steam again.
And he's the straw that stirs the drink, man. He plays well. Higgins, Boyd start to come out. It's
Boyd with a big game last week, too.
Yeah, giving me the old stir and let him eat. That's great stuff by you, Yaya.
I love the Bengals, though, in that matchup.
Love the Bengals. Okay. I'm with it. I'm in on the Bengals as well. That's gonna be our show. I'm gonna leave the Avs picks to Uncle Blazer on the pregame today. Tune in as always. They do amazing work. Jake, always a pleasure.
Yes,
we'll
sir.
be back. We'll be back tomorrow.
Let's do it tomorrow.